Hey guys, thank you for sticking through to this fourth video. We are looking at the retest questions over quadratics that you're going to need to be able to answer on your own when you take your test tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and answer questions 12, 13, and 14 here. On question 12, it says the graph of a quadratic function is shown. Which equation best represents the axis of symmetry? So the axis of symmetry is that vertical line that goes through the middle of the parabola. It cuts the parabola in half, and it always starts off with that x equals. So here is my parabola. My vertex, my turning point looks like it's about right here. And then for the axis of symmetry, symmetrical, I'm going to cut it in half. And the only way for me to cut it in half is if I make a vertical line. And this line is going through at an x value of negative, see, we want to say -1, but if you look closer at the scale, it's actually going by 2's. So it's actually x equals -2, which means our answer would be for this problem H. Axis of symmetry, you want it to be symmetrical, cut in half. Okay. Moving on to number 13, it says, how will the graph of f of x equals x squared, so that's our quadratic parent function, be affected if x squared becomes the sum of x plus 6 squared? So in other words, this whole thing is going to be changed to this whole thing. The best way when you're comparing is to have that picture representation. And to get that picture representation, this is where we're going to go ahead and use the calculator so we can see, get a nice visual. So I'm going to start off with entering the first equation, that x squared, that quadratic parent function. And then I'm going to do tab, and then I'm going to type what it became, including those parentheses. So the original is blue, the new one is red. So here it looks like it just shifted to the left. And if we were to go through and count, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Went to the left 6 units, which makes sense. So I'm looking for that keyword left. If you get confused with the horizontal and vertical, don't worry about it. Don't even pay attention to those. You're looking for the keyword of left, and that's only here in, because it says up, right, down. It's only in answer choice A. Okay. And this makes sense that it's going to the left because inside affects the x values. And remember those parentheses, it's always opposites. Okay, and the last one here is number 14. And this one is very similar to what we just did on 13, except everything's already been graphed for us. Once again, we're starting off with that parent function, and now it's changing to h of x, which is 2x squared. So the original is f of x, and it's being changed to h of x, 2x squared. And so, once again, so we see these pictures are a little different. So if we go ahead and we take the time to graph it, we'll be able to eliminate some of these answer choices and see which one is true. So this is my original. This is my f of x equals x squared. And so here, since this is my original, if you look at the labeling, I want to make sure we have it labeled correctly. So here, this one looks good. Okay, it's kind of hard to weed out. So let's go ahead and graph our h of x. Let's see, h of x is going to be 2x squared. Okay, and so it looks like they have the same vertex, and the new graph is a little bit more narrow. There's a vertical stretch going on. So we know there's no way it's going to be h. Okay? So the original is wider than the new. So the original, oh look, it's not f either because that scooted up. It didn't scoot up at all. The vertex are the same. So it's between G and J. So this is where we really have to pay attention to the labels. F of x is the original. That's the blue, that's the one that's opening up wider. If I look at G, it shows me F is the parabola that's within inside, the one that's a little bit more narrow. And that's not true. It's the new graph is the one that's a little bit more narrow. So it's going to be J And I can see the labeling, the H, the one that's bolded, that's the one that's narrow, which is like the red that I have on my calculator screen. That's our new one. That's the one that's inside, and the one that's outer, the original, is the F, which is represented by the dotted line. So this H goes with the solid, the F goes with the dotted line. So there our answer is J. So this one, just like it's going to be on your test, you really want to pay attention to that notation of how it's labeled. All right, good luck.